is our second annual recognition of our Good Neighbor Award as well. It's an opportunity for us to thank all of those who have helped make CIT a real success over the last year. Before we begin, I would like to recognize our elected leaders. Present here today is Senator Bruce Tarr. Representing Congressman Seth Moulton's office, Lucas Santos. Representative Brad Jones' office, Andrea Krupe. And from our town, North Reading, Selectman Chairman Bob Masseri. Selectman Michael Briscoe. Selectman Jeff Yule. School Committee Chairman Jerry Benenzia. And our Town Administrator Michael Gilberto. Amy's actually going to do the presentation, but I thought I'd just start off and explain how our community impact team came into play. But I want to thank our team leaders who are here today, all of them who have put in a ton of work over the last year to make our CIT a success. Members of the CIT team are Fire Chief Bill Warnock, Selectman Chairman Bob Masseri, the Mayor of North Reading, Rita Mullen, our Elder Services Director, Mary Crenny, Superintendent John Bernard, Services Director Amy Luckowitz. And although he's not an official member, he's attended every meeting since he became our town administrator, Michael Gilberto. And I'd also like to recognize our retired Superintendent Kathy Willis, who has done a ton of work laying the foundation for our North Reading Community Impact. And also the volunteers. There's so many volunteers that help us out. I don't want to go through all the names because I know I'm going to miss one and I don't want anybody to feel left out. But I really thank you from the bottom of our heart for all the tireless work you put in the background to make our team a success. Thank you very much. So back in 2012, our community impact team was developed. It was developed to better coordinate efforts in our community to work towards improving our quality of life. We were all working separately, but sometimes our paths crossed, sometimes they didn't. In each department and each organization within the community to do what our mission was independently. But bringing us all together and now working towards that common goal of improving the quality of life of all the citizens of North Reading. And we've accomplished a lot of goals over the last couple of years. We did start with our primary mission of education and awareness, and focused a lot on the drug problem in North Reading. And over the last couple of years, we've expanded, and Amy's going to go over all of that during the presentation. But we are refocusing the drug problem that we've had in not just in North Reading, in the region, and to be honest with you, across our country. It's going to take a lot of leadership from this group, as well as our town leaders, our state leaders, and the President of the United States has to get involved and start to work towards bettering and reducing our efforts towards reducing the impact on drugs in our community. So I am going to turn it over to Amy, who's going to go through the rest of the presentation and give you little highlights of our past year.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. I know that the audio is kind of bad. Is this all right? Yeah. Operating. Very good. So our year began with a large effort to offer training in our community around the issue of mental health. And over 3 months earlier in the year, the community impact team offered 4 classes in mental health first aid. These classes were offered with a significantly reduced rate, so the community impact team actually paid for the facilitator, which was over $600 per class, and we just asked community members to pay for their manuals. And with that reduced cost, we were able to train over 100 adults in mental health first aid. And these people are people that might work with youth, veterans, seniors. We invited surrounding communities and graduated over 100 people from that program. In an effort to promote understanding, our K-12 action team concluded its project on the book Wonder. Did anybody read Wonder? Very good, excellent. This campaign ended with a middle school celebration, and many of our local seniors also attended. You also might have seen our banner around town, which Mary Cranny took our banner around and had it photographed with a bunch of people around town. Did anybody see that hanging up on the fence? Very good, thank you. Did anybody wonder about it? Okay. Earlier in the school year, our community impact team was invited to have a joint meeting with the school committee, school representatives in the Flint Memorial Library. The library had identified some concerns around response time in an emergency. So basically, their phone systems work, their landlines to the desk. What if something happens in a bathroom? What if there's a child that's in need? What if there's a disturbance going on the 4th floor? They had to be able to get to a phone very quickly. And so they had identified the need for some high-power radios. So the community impact team responded with a donation of 4 radios, which the staff of the library are able to carry around with them and communicate quickly in case of an emergency. I'm thrilled to tell you about this project. Rich Wallner is in here. Rich, where are you? There you are. And I'm sure I'm going to miss all the things that the Social Services Action Team, which is a very involved action team, is working on. They identified some objectives around aging. So, for example, it's been identified that about 500 households in North Reading are occupied by only one person who is age 65 or older. Options for these people are limited in terms of socialization, housing, and transportation. The Social Service Action Team's goal is to help these people achieve their goals, reach out and provide support, and help them with housing transitions if the need or desire should arise. They're working on a bunch of different projects around veterans and aging, and I encourage, if you want more information, to reach out to Rich. Sorry, I'm offering you, Rich, to learn more about that. The Social Services Action Team also hosted 42 people for a movie night in partnership with the North Reading High School Gay Straight Alliance. Hosted right here, high school students sat with seniors and watched Gen Silent. Gen Silent is a documentary that was filmed right here in Massachusetts about the challenges faced by an aging LGBTQ community. And just last week, I actually met with some of the students from the Gay Straight Alliance, and they brought this up again. And their desire to do another project with the senior center was overwhelming. They had a very strong turnout, and they want to actually further this and maybe work with the Mystic Valley Elder Services as well to do another intergenerational LGBTQ program. Seeking follow-up information to our programs is now part of our routine. After reviewing previous presentation feedback, our K-12 action team again put together a great program. The Secret Life of the Massachusetts team, which happened only a few weeks ago, registered over 400 people. And our feedback on the event has shown that it's our highest rated presentation ever. And I just want to thank Marcy Bailey, who is here, who put all that together. She also worked on another little program, North Reading Night Off. Did anybody participate in Night Off? It was 2 weeks ago, 2 Thursdays ago. Very good. So this is also in response to feedback that we received. We learned that stress was a common problem for families, and our K-12 responded with a night off for everyone on March 12th. The campaign was designed to encourage time with family and friends, and was promoted with deals from local businesses and support from organizations, promising to not hold meetings or events that Thursday night. Again, our feedback indicates that this was a great reminder for families, and people have asked to hold another one next year, which we will definitely pursue. One of my favorite programs from the year is North Reading National Night Out. This is a program that happens across the country and in some military bases worldwide, and it is without a doubt our biggest event of the year. This past year, we had about 800 participants visit Institute River Park in August. Again, we provided information on a variety of topics, including bike safety, support groups, veterans and senior services, local demonstrations including senior and youth self-defense and pool safety. Dance teams and karate teams were also invited. We'd like to thank our presenters and volunteers again for making that night happen. We encourage anybody who has information or an organization related to law enforcement or safety to contact us for this year's night out, it will happen the second Tuesday of August. That happens nationwide. The dunk tank and canine demonstrations were just some of the highlights. Thanks very much to our Board of Selectmen for cooking the barbecue. I have to give you a round of applause. Please, the fire department as well. Some of you went to the dunk tank. Some of you were stationed at the barbecues all night. Everybody was fed. Some people were fed more than once. And it's definitely our biggest night of the year. So you've heard me mention 3 action teams so far, and those are the K-12, social services, and public safety action teams. This is just a note on our action teams, and I invite anybody who's interested in any of these teams to contact us and volunteer. Although you heard Chief mention the board of directors, we have, oh my gosh, I think we just passed our 30th volunteer mark, not more, last week. So I just want, if you are a volunteer for any of the action teams, could you just stand, please? Not do any of the work that we do without you folks, and we really greatly appreciate you. You're the cornerstone of how the CIT works. So going back just a little bit, Chief Murphy mentioned that CIT was started in 2012 to combat substance use in North Reading. And although we have strong action teams providing protective factors to many people, we knew it was time to get back to a focus on that problem. Last April, we began our newest action team, the Youth Substance Use Prevention Coalition. It's a long name. Does anybody have a better name for us? Because we can't acronym it either. So we're working on that. But this group has been challenged with tackling youth substance use prevention in North Reading, using a strategic plan in the coalition model. And this model also mandates that the 12 sectors listed always be represented. So on the left, you'll see the 12 sectors. We actually passed that number, so we also have multiple parents in the association, 2 students, and we are hoping to attract over the course of the next year another 5, including an active or reservist military person. So today we're also happy to announce that this new action team is pursuing a $1.25 million federal grant. It's called the Drug-Free Communities Grant, and it's going to bring funding to this particular issue to North Reading. Just 12 days ago, not that I'm counting, 12 days ago, the grant was submitted, and we will hear in September if North Reading was selected. This 10-year grant will fund is very competitive, but it will fund a full-time position under the CIT focused solely on preventing youth substance use. And I just have to thank, again, Kathy Willis. She helped such a great deal on, even after her retirement, on hitting the submit grant button on this grant. So thank you again. At the bottom, you can see that those communities are nearby North Reading, and those have already been funded by this particular grant. If anybody is interested in how we divided the budget, it's $125,000 a year over 5 years, and we get an opportunity to extend that grant for another 5 years. I'm happy to come and present to your organization and come speak to you. This is a lot of work, and the one thing I will point out, if you can see that tiny number, there's $20,000 allocated for training, and that's because, which is a huge number, but that is because we actually mandated about 8 weeks of travel just to get trained on the coalition model. So that number will drop after year 1. Again, going back a little bit, we've been funded previously on state aid and donations, and we can't thank enough Senator Ty and Representative Jones for all of your work on helping us secure last year's $25,000 grant. Their staff were great to work with and really facilitated the entire process for us. And moving forward, we'll continue to pursue other grants, sponsorships, and donations. So at this time, I just want to talk a little bit about the Good Neighbor Awards briefly. So this is something that was started last year, was our first year, and we asked the community to send us nominations on anybody they thought kind of went above and beyond as a community member, as a neighbor, as a volunteer. We actually were very particular in saying that this person could be of any age. So I will say we've never received any nominations for children, but that's okay. And last year we had 3 award winners. this year we did the same thing. We put a call out to the community through the transcript, through Pat, and asked for nominations. And we are going to honor those two recipients now. So I would like to call up Marcy Bailey, who is going to present our first award.
Good morning. It's great to see such a great turnout. So I'm so honored to present this award to my friend Jeff Simon. I hope you indulge just a few words about Jeff's good work, and particularly in North Reading. If North Reading had an elected position of chief cheerleader, Jeff Simon would be high on the landslide. Jeff's most public work has been as an advocate for our public schools. Every school project in the past 2 decades has been touched by Jeff's can-do spirit and his conviction that North Reading students deserve adequate and up-to-date buildings. He has worked tirelessly for each project, regardless of whether it impacted his own children, which I'll say that none of the projects did. When the middle school, high school project passed, Jeff appointed himself project photographer, leaving North Reading with an important visual record of this awesome task for our community. Aside from the building projects, Jeff has supported our students in so many ways. He supported them as a teacher. He volunteers his time and expertise as a financial professional to teach North Reading High School students, business students, critical information about how to handle their own personal finances. Jeff has a deep and keen interest in advocating for top-notch and meaningful education for North Reading students. While he often acts behind the scenes and is due credit, it's safe to say that there's not a North Reading student in the past 20 years who has not benefited from Jeff's caring and advocacy. He's been a tireless proponent for inclusion of students needing special education programs, advocating for inclusion before it was fashionable, and understanding the need and the great potential of students with special needs. Jeff never says no to student support. Open any school program from the last few years and you'll see Jeff's ad front and center. He's also the ultimate Hornets fan, following teams far and wide, distributing green spirit beads to Hornets fans, and cheering on every single team, big or small, boys or girls, fall, winter, or spring. In addition to his election as head cheerleader, Jeff would also win by a landslide if there was an elected mayor of his beloved neighborhood, Chestnut Village. While I don't have the privilege to be a direct neighbor, I know that Jeff is always ready to help his neighbors and to plan outings to build community. Jeff and his wife Pat take brisk walks every morning throughout the neighborhood, spreading cheer and fitness to all they pass. Jeff carries his ubiquitous camera on the first day of school. Still, long after his own children first stepped on the bus, he documents another generation of Chestnut Hill students heading off to North Reading schools. He often asks neighbors to take a few minutes to listen to school news and meetings. He's always ready to answer questions and encourage neighbors to get involved and to vote. Jeff values his own neighbors as well. When Jeff's daughter Marina was in elementary school, Jeff arranged a Veterans Day chat for neighborhood children with much beloved and retired high school principal Arthur Kenny to hear firsthand about Mr. Kenny's experiences in World War II. Unless you think Jeff was all about history or the vote, an anonymous neighborhood source tells me that Jeff contributes Good Cheer further by appointing himself mixologist for the neighborhood bookstore, arriving with blender, fresh fruit, and all manner of goodies ready to enhance any book discussion. Jeff's devotion to North Reading community is only eclipsed by his devotion to his beloved family, Pat, Nathan, and Marina, and perhaps to the Red Sox. For a man who lives the same 24 hours a day that we all do, Jeff manages to show love and cheer farther and longer than ever seems possible. A few years ago, my son accompanied Jeff and me on some work for a school project. A half-hour task extended the entire afternoon as Jeff warmly and personally greeted nearly everyone we passed. My son marveled aloud. Mr. Simon knows everyone. Jeff not only knows everyone, he has a smile, a positive word, and a friendly ear for everyone he meets. Jeff has made North Reading a stronger community and is the very definition of a good neighbor. Now it is with much pride and honor and privilege to present my friend Jeff Simon with the 2014 Good Neighbor Award for the North Reading community.
2014 on them. Typically we award them earlier in the year and they're for the year prior, but we've had this kind of snow problem going on, so we had to delay a little bit. Mary is our friend here?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You know what they say about society? She's here.
We also have another installation, correct? Would you like to come up? Would you want me to proceed? Okay.
Another princess here.
Well, Marcy, that's a tough act to follow. I usually very wordy. People until, okay, she's in charge of bikes. Anyway, here is my one little paper, and I simply will take the nomination paper that was submitted to the nominating committee. Ginny has a whole lot of your address. Anyway, it says, how do you know the nominee? Met her initially as a member of the Historical and Antiquarian Society, participating in the annual Apple Festival. She was dressed as an apple. How has the nominee impacted the community? She's a true townie, currently president of the Historical Society. She wears many hats in the historic district, shares her time with the militia, help them to get the carriage house finished, more to do. Active with the League of Women Voters, works every day, took care of both parents who have now passed. So, she takes care of her cats now, devotedly. Who has the nominee impacted as a result of his or her work? She impacts anyone she works or volunteers with. Her energy and skills are amazing and always with a smile. Additional consideration, she enjoys astronomy and photography, currently working to become, a better equestrian. Camping has long been a weekend adventure with family and friends. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Gloria.
You watch Star of the
Hold on.
Day.
All right, wait, it's a little calm now.
Star of the Day is a program on TV where people go to sing and dance. So there you are.
Yes, I very much so.
Congratulations to both the Good Neighbor Award recipients, and I'd like to welcome Senator Bruce Tarr, who would like to make a few remarks.
Thank you very much, Chief, and good morning. And you won't see me turning away the microphone. So it's great to be here with all of you this morning. And it's great to see such a full house and to see so many people that are caring and enthusiastic about the community. And we even had the added benefit a minute ago, Bob Turo's dropping listening devices all over the place. So be careful what you say. I know it would be positive, but be careful. But it's great to be here with you, and I know that Brad would like to be here as well. As many of you know, he was one of the victims of this horrendous winter that we've had. He's on the mend, and he looks forward to being back in action with all of us very soon. But he also sends his best regards, as I know Congressman Moulton does as well. So you can imagine that if you're in public life, that one of the things you might dream about is being in control of all of government. And so I have citations from the Senate, and the House, and the Congress. And so this is sort of a dream. So Bob, I hope you'll capture this moment later. But, you know, it is wonderful to see this community impact team in action. Because one of the things that it does is bring out the very best in members of the community. And one of the other things that it does is emphasize collaboration rather than competition. Because sometimes when you look at the different groups in a community, you can get the feeling that they compete with each other for our attention and our resources and our efforts. But what the CIT does is leverage all of that energy into one powerful force moving forward for the entire town. And that's why Brad and I have been very pleased to partner with you as well, because that force now extends to the State House. And in fact, we are contemplating opening a branch office in one of our offices for the CIT. We haven't figured that out yet, and we haven't figured out how much we'll charge for rent, but we'll work on that later. But it's been great to partner, not only to be able to get some funding from the state, and that's important because it's been one of the main things that's helped to fuel the operation, but more importantly, has been for us to show our colleagues around the state the kind of effort that can happen when everybody sits at the table and says, what are we going to do to help each other? And when you saw the presentation that you were making up here, I mean, it was great to see all of the different projects because you saw things that touched every segment of the population rather than just things that said, well, this year we're going to focus on one group and maybe next year we'll get to the next group. You didn't see that up here. You saw the entire range of age and interest and all of those things all being done in 1 year. That's why this is an incredibly energizing thing to be part of. And so it's natural that when you have such a community of interest, it's going to reach out and find great people to recognize. And once again, the CIT has done that. And I'm telling you, it was very interesting. I thought as I was listening to those descriptions, that they have to be pouring the foundation for the statues out front. But well deserved, because one of the things that this town does best is present opportunities for people who then take advantage of them to reach out and give their best. And both of you have done that. And because you've done that, not only have you accomplished something for all the town in very tangible and sometimes intangible ways, but the biggest intangible is to show that this is what it means to be part of a community. To rise up and say, I'm going to do something today, every day, to help somebody else out. And so while we heard lots of things in the descriptions that were beautifully done by Marcy and by Gloria, I know that in addition to those things, there are lots of things that happen every day that might not be chronicled, but that we all appreciate in our own ways. So it's an honor to be able to come and recognize both of you again from practically everything that there is in government. No, not the Board of Selectmen. So if I could have, first of all, let's go with Jeff. Come on up so I can present these to you. Again, I also am pleased to present something here on behalf of Congressman Walton, who we know is very, very busy as Washington begins its next term of office and as Seth begins his tenure in office, getting his feet on the ground and getting things going. So it's great that he could send somebody here and also send a citation as well. And so, Jeff, you're going to need to build an addition. I know you just finished in high school, but you're going to need to build an addition on your house for all of these. But so the Senate citation, and I'm going to read all these at once, and then I'm going to hand them to you. So we're going to have 3 citations and 4 hands between us, right? So Bob is over here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hand you these. You're going to hold 2. I'm going to hold 1. We'll fold the covers back, and we're going to turn right at him. All right? I'll hold the other one. And then if there are other cameras, we'll pivot this way out. I see your camera over there, which looks like some sort of a howitzer from World War II. So the first one reads, be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Jeffrey Simons in recognition of the significant and positive impact you've had on the community of North Reading. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And this is signed by our Senate President, Stan Rosenberg, attested to by our Clerk, William F. Welch, and I am proud to offer it on March 23rd of 2015. Moving now to the House, you'll see some similar language. You'll be glad to know we didn't reinvent the wheel. So this reads, be it known, hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Jeff Simons in recognition of being named a recipient of the Community Impact Team 2014 Good Neighbor Award. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors given the 23rd day of March 2015 at the State House, Boston, Massachusetts, by Robert A. DeLeo, the Speaker of the House, and offered by our State Representative, Bradley H. Jones, Jr. We're two-thirds through, Jim. The next one is from the Congress, and this is a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Jeffrey H. Simons in honor of the 2014 Good Neighbor Award, and also in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community on March 23rd of 2015 by Seth Moulton, member of Congress. So I'm going to take one moment to breathe, and you remember what we said, so I'm going to give you those two. I'll hold that one. You got it? Okay. And you'll all see if we get it right. And I'll get this one. All right, no, we're not going to pivot yet. We got to go first to the left, right? I got to button that, Jen. Okay, so turn that way. Right.
Moving to Foxtrot.
I think, by the way, we would like to hear from both of you too. So
You didn't tell us that.
if we told you that, you might not have come. So at any rate, Ginny, why don't you come up here as well? So, once again, it is a real honor to be able to present these to you and to thank you for everything that you've done and you continue to do. And so as I read these, you know the drill, right? Well, you hold two, I'll hold one. Had a good prime example just a few moments ago. So from the Senate, be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Virginia Mills in recognition of the significant and positive impact you've had on the community of North Reading. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And that transmitted part, we used to mail them, but now we save the postage and just bring them. So this is signed by Stan Rosenberg, our Senate President. This is attested to by our Clerk, William F. Welch, and I am proud to offer it on March 23rd of 2015. And in addition, from the House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Ginny Mills in recognition of being named a recipient of the Community Impact Team 2014 Good Neighbor Award. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. And by the way, Gloria's making out a list for your continued success over there of more things you want to do. This is given this 23rd day of March 2015 at the State House, Boston, Massachusetts, by Robert A. DeLeo, the Speaker of the House, and offered by Bradley H. Jones, Jr., our State Representative. And last but not least, from Congressman Moulton. This is a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Virginia Mills for the 2014 Good Neighbor Award and in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community, dated March 23rd, 2015, and signed by Seth Moulton, member of Congress. Now, Ginny, here comes the hard part. I know you're good at juggling lots of things. Uh-oh, the flowers are getting moved. We learned from that last one. Okay, you get that one and this one. One in each hand, tilt them slightly back so the flash doesn't reflect.
He's done this before.
That might be a different place.
hear them say something, right?
Well, obviously, thank you very much. I didn't really know what the award was, but I do know what it is now. Thank you, Gloria. And, I mean, granted, I do a lot, but we're a team. I mean, everything I've done, so it's always just not me. It's the whole Historical Society, the whole League of Women Voters, which unfortunately has disbanded, but it's still a good group. And thank you very much.
Yeah, you can still hold those that way. That's okay. Just hold the microphone with the other hand. That's okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bruce, for your presentation. I feel extra honored because I've been to many of these events where Bruce has presented, but he always comes in about 5 minutes before the end of the program. The first one I've ever been to, he was here right from the very beginning. Thanks to all my co-workers over the years. It's as Ginny said, it's absolutely a team effort, and I wear the badge of cheerleader proudly. But thanks to everybody, first and foremost, not last but not least, but first and foremost, Pat. All those nights where I had to stick you with the kids' homework and out at all these meetings, and Marcy, the reader of the most important letter to the editor that I ever wrote, which got her involved in this whole mess about 20 years ago. My dad, who taught me how to be a good volunteer and has been a great influence of mine. Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Longtime school committee member and volunteer and more things you can mention. My high school anatomy and physiology teacher. I appreciate your representing Linfield here. Not bad for almost 30 years in North Reading, but not bad for a Linfield boy to help out North Reading so much. And all my school crew, certainly, my parent volunteers and Chris Donju, who had an influence on Nathan's life that we can never finish saying thank you enough for my family's benefits from the North Reading school system. They're all doing great. She's going to probably end up in public school somewhere or other. She's getting a master's in speech-language pathology out at the University of Kansas. Nathan's doing great, living independently in Brookline, so thank you so much to all the folks from the school systems. And really appreciate this. It means so much coming from such a great group. You guys do amazing work. And Bruce, last thing, when this school opens in September, my job is done. It's been 20 years, but what's the reimbursement rate for new senior centers?
You already paid
There you go. Thank you very much.
And on behalf of the Community Impact Team, I'd like to congratulate both recipients as well. But in closing, I'd just like to thank our local elected officials for their support, and also our state officials for their support and funding support as well, and their leadership. And on behalf of the North Reading Community Impact Team, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. Certainly the food is here, and I'd like to thank Pat, Rita, and Jean for helping prepare and serve all of our food here today.